me in and introducing myself to the neighbor Brendan. The kid that I always thought was a monkey said that he heard screaming about me. Professor Birch is getting mauled by a level 2
Wait,
Pollyanna, so
why
I
are you
let
guys here?
Georgie out and she scratched
Oh
me.
crap, I forgot, I'm a YouTuber. Hi, I'm Orcflesh. What's good, my homies, broskies, and other non-gender specific terms of endearment? I was literally just chilling before y'all got here. Like, I legit forgot I was doing this. Anyway, so, yeah, you guys are here now. Welcome. My not so sincere apologies for my laziness. However, I do have some stories for you guys because what? Y'all thought I was just gonna leave y'all hanging? The fuck? No, it's a YouTube video. Obviously, y'all gonna be entertained. You know, just because I'm lazy doesn't mean I'm lazy. Not like, come on, be so for real right now. But anyway, yeah, the stories I got for y'all today are a doozy. Like, they are wild. Like, the other stories last time were also kind of wild, but these ones are wilder. I'm just gonna stop explaining it. I'm just gonna get into it. Without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some snacks. If you want to, get some coffee, some tea, or if you bout it, some Hennessy, and let's get into the video for today. Alright, gangies, the first one we got up is a story by Sanan Conifer. I think I'm gonna just stop reading the names. Half this shit I can't even pronounce. Anyway, back to it. This person posted, yo, so real fast. Come to find out, the mods took down the story for whatever reason, so I don't got any text for y'all. However, I do have the story read out. It's just y'all are just gonna have to watch me play video games or some shit. I don't know. You won't be able to read the story, but you'll be able to watch me play Silksong. Anyway, go back to the thing. Off my chest, Gunnar player has been using our DnD sessions for circle jerking forums. Bro, come on. We literally just started. Are you being so dead ass? Anyhow, if you clicked on this post, you probably already have a good idea of the type of material I'll discuss in the post. But just in case, trigger warnings. Involves at least some kind of sexual voyeurism and general human indecency. Yay! Fun. Let's dive in, shall we? I've been in a D&D group for a few months now, and it's been fairly smooth sailing, for the most part. Despite our group's general lack of familiarity with the genre, our most experienced player, for reference, has only done one prior campaign, although we all have played BG3 and are trying to study more by watching Critical Role. Hey, let me put y'all on real quick. Crap Guide series by Joe Cat. Alright? They're mainly meant to be jokes, but they give some good advice. Alright? Look at those. You're welcome. Thank me later. However, a few weeks ago, one of our players brought up the prospect of adding a new player they knew from a shared comp sci course who claimed to be a veteran of role-playing games, as their presence might level up our campaign, so to speak. Despite concerns of some of us regarding the potential newcomers' hygiene issues and potential inability to socialize, unfortunately, we eventually decided to vote him in. I'm guessing this was a mistake on y'all's part. Why is it always the new players? It was the new guy in the last story. It's the new guy here. It's always the new guy for some reason. The guy gave off immediate red flags. You see, ostensibly, he appeared normal in his wardrobing, and his hygiene wasn't particularly poor, aside from some noticeable abundance of acne. But his introduction to the group, and I kid you not, in the same sentence in which he gave his name, involved a comment about not wanting to play 5e slop, but having no other option due to the lack of Pathfinder games in the college because we were too normie. Oh god. No, not this guy again. We dealt with this last time. Are you being so dead ass right now? Anyway, back to it, I suppose. Good way to dismiss one of the most compelling and well-made RPG titles to ever be put onto pen and paper, and us being the ones playing it. But go off, I guess. Anyhow, for some reason, we decided to go through with having the guy in, and the red flags only increase. His choice of character was immediately odd, being a cross-class of Paladin and Hexsword Warlock, which later made sense when we searched it up and realized he was power gaming. And he snickered when we shared our classes and explained our characters, especially for some reason when I had mentioned that I had played a tiefling bard. Still, compared to a lot of D&D horror stories I read on this subreddit, he wasn't all too bad. Until a few days ago. I spotted him smirking during a particularly emotional session in which my bard had been rejected by the king and queen who refused her a foursome with their daughter. Whoa, wait! What? I wasn't ready. I was not ready for that statement. What do you mean by that? What is going on in this campaign? Should I be worried? Okay, I'm scared now. So anyway, king and queen who refused her a foursome with their daughter and holding his phone at an odd angle. Realizing that he was quite consistently on his phone during these games, I decided to pretend to have to go to the washroom so as to angle myself to glance at his screen. That was when I discovered the evidence for the title of my post. Right in the middle of our session, with that dumb grin on his face, he was making a post on an NSFW forum titled D&D Circle Jerk. No, stop. Don't piss me off. Are we being so serious right now? Now, for someone who doesn't know, a circle jerk is a form of sexual practice in which a group of guys masturbate inwardly towards an object in their center. I learned about this when I was interning at the college frat. If anyone here is curious, we weren't curious, but thank you for that information anyhow. In any case, I couldn't get a good look at their device because I didn't want to stop and make my staring otherwise obvious. But it was clear from the title of the post that he was making comments about our games, possibly even the session as we were in it. I think I even spotted him mentioning a tiefling bard with my character's name in it. I won't say it because I don't want to dox myself since my character's name is the same as my IRL one. Suffice to say, he was definitely doing this for sexual purposes and satisfaction. And now I'm afraid that millions of guys have jerked off, girls have shillicked off. I'm assuming that's the female version of jerked off. Trans and NBs, what the fuck is an NB? I'm gonna look this up after. Have jerk slit. People have masturbated. You could have just said that, OP. Now I'm concerned that people have masturbated to my character. By the way, I haven't checked the forum and I refuse to because I don't want to be traumatized. Good decision on your part. Advice? I'm gonna be so real with you, gangy. I don't think I can help you here. Yeah, that's GG's. This is so far out of my pay grade. Bro, I've dealt with pretty much everything. I've dealt with eldritch monsters, gods, spirits, demons, all kinds of things. I'm not touching this. Absolutely not. Fuck no. That's GG's. You're gonna have to find someone else. I will say, you guys are kind of freaky yourselves, because I'm not just gonna casually brush past that whole foursome with the king and queen's daughter. Like, what the fuck? That requires an immense amount of context that I do not have, and context that I very much want. So yeah, here's hoping for something else. Hey, OP, all I'm gonna say is, like, tell your DM about this. Like, obviously bring this up. Do not keep this information to yourself. Don't get it twisted. I'm still on you for that foursome thing, but we're not on that right now. We're on the dude literally masturbating with his homies, just straight jorking his shit to your sessions. I would definitely bring this up to your DM. And from there, leave it to your DM to figure this out, because that's what I would do. And I know that my players would leave me to figure it out also. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, on to the next story. Okay, so local underscore post underscore 7944, I'm not saying those underscores again, posted, gathering a group of uni friends to DM for in person, and it just reminded me of this story that caused me to stop playing for nearly 5 years and mostly pushed me away from in person. Bro, what is this anime, isekai anime ass title? Why is this shit so long? Anyway, essay warning, I beggeth thy fucking pardon. Thankfully no actual essay, just in the game. Whew. Oh, thank God, y'all had me scared for a moment. Like I said, it happened now nearly 6 years ago, so details are fuzzy. Hell, I can't even remember what I had for lunch on Monday but anyways, cast, Jace, the DM, Andy, Paladin. No one else is really important. For context, I'm female. At the time, I was 15 or 16. Oh, God, no. Why does it always involve minors? Can't remember the exact month. Now, everyone else were males. Late teens to early 20s. This is gonna be bad, I already know it. The older teens were a group I'd met on a church youth trip. We had much in common, mainly that we were beginning to question our faiths. The others, maybe 2 out of 5, were introduced later. Jace was one of those older men. Anyways, now that the context is over, we had decided to do what was supposed to be obesity, but ended up spanning about 8 sessions. An obesity? What is this supposed? What does that word mean in this context? Are you talking about a one-shot? I'm just gonna assume you're talking about a one-shot. We were pretty high level, somewhere between 13 and 16. I'd rolled up a fighter/warlock elf guy with a noble background, was betrayed by his stepbrother, and given some form of jewelry that contained what would eventually become his patron. Short and simple background. It was meant to be a one-shot, so I didn't expect it to come up much. Jace seemed very excited when I described it, telling me he got an idea for an NPC. It got me excited, even more when the one-shot stretched out. Finally, we got to one of the last major combats before the BBEG. Turns out it was the evil stepbrother. Fun. Always been shy with role-playing, but man was it fun. At least until the evil stepbrother decided to cast true polymorph on me. I always use wisdom as my dump stat. Jace decided to describe pretty much the stereotypical drow woman. Oh God, I think I know where this is going. Fine, fun challenge, I thought, until Jace decided to describe. Is that supposed to be describe? Okay, OP, did you dictate this thing? Because I'm noticing a lot of spelling errors. Anyway, until Jace decided to describe evil stepbrother taking his next turn to push me down, and well, yeah, I was perfectly happy to just go along with it. Again, interesting character point, explaining it in excruciating detail. While doing this, Andy decided he'd jump in and join in on the attack? Wait, what? Again, excruciating detail. At the end, he described what used to be my character decided to join him essentially as a sex slave. The worst part, I just cringed and rolled up another character. This one, a woman that continued to have the usual experiences, was introduced as a sex slave of the BBEG that decided to defeat. The guy was practically obsessed with sex. I played with them until the one shot ended, albeit only 3 sessions later, but still. Can't remember exactly what the other player did while all this was happening. Like I said, terrible memory, but this burnt itself into my head. I like to say that COVID was why I didn't play for so long, but this was definitely a contributing factor. Andy is definitely a part of the reason I hold so much animosity for paladins. Never enough to ban them, but the last time I attempted to play one, I just asked one of the other players to kill them maybe 3 sessions in. So that was a lot. This is beyond freaky. This is just bad. I don't like this. I'm not gonna go into my experiences. I will simply say that I've had games that were somewhat similar to this. All right. In sort of kind of, I've had experiences similar to this one. All right. And I can tell you firsthand, it is not fun. It is not fun at all. Like I could be like we all could be like, oh, you should have did this, you should have did that, you should have left, you should have cussed out the DM. She was a kid. She was like what, 15, 16 at the time, right? We cannot put like too much pressure on her in that. Not to mention, she was like the only girl in like a group of older dudes. Like, come on, that's just wow. Like, bro, this situation is just so scuffed that there's quite literally no way for me to be funny about this. Straight up, fuck Jace, fuck Andy, and you did not deserve that, gangy. Like, that was fucked. I fully understand as to why you were turned off by D&D for a couple years, because that is a really shitty situation. And if I'm being completely honest, it kind of low-key saddens me and bums me out that so many people are turned away from this hobby because of people like this. It really sucks. I'm being so real here. Not all of us are like that, and I'm so glad you eventually came back to the hobby, and I sincerely hope you're not playing with some freaking weirdos this time. But all in all, that's all I'm gonna say on that situation. On to the next story. Alright, so this next one by Sign of Scales. Oh my god. Do my eyes deceive me? It's a username that I can pronounce. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, is titled Player Commissions a Lot of Porn of His Character. Okay, bro. Sure. Let's run it. Lighthearted. I don't think this is a horrific horror story, but it's more something I want to get off my chest, as straddling the line between amusing and bemusing. A few years ago, I ran a game for a little under a year, until some people's lives got busy and scheduling caused it to collapse, as what usually happens, you know. But anywho, it was a good experience, and I think everyone had a lot of fun with it. I made an effort to engage with the characters that everyone brought to the table, bringing backstory elements into the campaign, so having a character with baggage was encouraged. One player definitely took center stage in that way that a player who is really into D&D would do. It wasn't egregious. He was a dedicated note taker. He recapped the previous sessions. He was just also the type of who always put his foot forward in any situation. His character was a little Mary Sue-ish. She was the daughter of a cult leader who had enslaved an oceanic demigod. Well, he had pitched primal deity, and I talked him down to demigod, who then escaped her father. went on an adventure around the world with a band of pirates who all had names and characteristics, and ended up freeing the enslaved demigod, who was now her personal deity as a cleric. He kept saying, "Oh, but please don't feel like this needs to be a major part of the campaign. This is mostly just context for her outlook on life." I felt like it was a little hard for "I freed a demigod" not to be a campaign focus, and we had a fair amount of back and forth on what kind of adventures she had already been on that wouldn't diminish the adventures of the campaign. Over the course of the campaign, he did end up commissioning about a dozen pieces of art for this PC, and like big, really professionally done pieces. He had disposable income, and he liked giving back to the artist community, who I'm sure appreciated the work. He never had one done for the whole party, but he did at least get a couple's piece for a fellow NPC that his was vaguely romancing, which the other player enjoyed. Fast forward these couple of years, and while I'm searching Pinterest for NPC portraits, I come across a piece of art that is clearly of that same PC, but not one of the ones I had seen when running that game. I become curious, and I wonder if he's been commissioning more artwork for that PC. I search a few combinations of his username and the PC's name, and eventually find a gallery of his. And lo and behold, not only are there about twice as many safe for work commissions as originally, but there are about 30 pieces of smut, ranging from pinups of this PC to her getting fucked by the pirate captain from her backstory, and more than one threesome including the other PC. What? I just think it's wild that someone spent literally thousands of dollars. Thousands! Oh my god. I just think it's wild that someone spent literally thousands of dollars on porn of their D&D character. I didn't realize how horny for his own character he must have been, but in hindsight, it explains a lot about the way this guy played her. At the end of the day, I really wish I had talked him into leaving the demigod in prison as a hook for the party to explore and free in the campaign, rather than letting him have released it in the backstory, and then not really know what to do with the Leviathan roaming the oceans of the material plane. But bro, that's what we're on? We're still on the demigod thing? Nah, I'm on the multiple porn things. Okay, now, before I go into my next statement, let me preface this by saying anyone is allowed to do anything with their own money so long as it doesn't harm themselves or others, alright? I'm not gonna judge anyone on what they spend their hard-earned disposable income on, because that is not my place and it's none of my business, right? So long as they're not spending that money to hurt someone else, or it's not affecting their lives negatively, go off and do whatever you want. That being said, this horny son of a bitch, oh my god, bro, thousands of dollars into just PC smut, dear god, holy wow. I really don't want to judge. I'm not judging. I'm really not judging. But I hope you understand how hard it is not to. Gang, it's bro, I just really don't think it's ever that serious. Like, dear God. Like, you can't just imagine your PC doing these things. You had to, like, one picture wasn't enough. Thousands of dollars worth? It is very, very bizarre. Listen, I'm not just gonna get on him though. I'm gonna get on you also, because why didn't you just mind your own damn business? You would have never seen any of this stuff had you just not been such a little curious cat and decided, I'm gonna poke around a bit. And look at you, traumatized, looking goofy. You wanted this. You wanted this. But all jokes aside, yeah, I don't know how else to help you here. Like, what advice am I meant to give? Like, there's literally nothing else I can say for this. So, yeah. And those were our stories for today. Like I said, it was a doozy, and I hope you guys understand why now. We encountered some straight up freaks, and not the good type of freaks. I mean, I'm on the asexual spectrum, so I usually am not looking for freaks off rip anyhow, but like, you know, this was a lot. This was some nonsense. I hope you guys enjoyed me torturing myself reading this bullshit instead of watching Jaden animations like I planned to do today. But hey, that's just life, you know? Either way, I hope you guys really like this, and I enjoyed filming this in spite of my many reactions to the BS we had to read today. And without further ado, stay easy, be easy, and I'll see y'all in the stars.